let's go over Charlie's training so that we can stay consistent at home. Whenever we're working with Charlie, we want to make sure to reward the behaviors we want to continue to see, especially when he listens to one of our commands. And we also want to use the training equipment to follow through in case Charlie doesn't listen to one of our commands. So let's go over how to use the remote collar and the prong collar. So first with this is the collar that we are going to attach Charlie's leash to. Now it shouldn't have a solid triangle like this all the time. We only need to use it as needed to get Charlie's attention in a quick pop and release fashion. But let's talk about how to put it on. We cannot slide it over Charlie's head. We do have to take it apart at one of the links. So we can pick any of the links and then we are going to push this link down and pop it apart. Then we'll put it around Charlie and we will squeeze this one so that they line up like this. You have to be a little bit careful because you can't like pull it down. It won't lock right. So you want to make sure that you squeeze it and then it goes in like so. So when Charlie's wearing this, he will have a leash on. We should have a leash on Charlie most of the time, especially when we're around new people or a situation that we know he can get a little reactive in. So we want to make sure we have that leash on to give us that extra control if he decides to make a poor choice. That way we can say, hey, wrong choice, and then we can apply the pressure as needed. So we should have this leash on him. It'll be attached to the D-ring, so the one that swivels like this so it can move with the leash, not the circle. You don't want to attach the leash to the circle part. So when he's wearing this, it should be nice and relaxed on the leash. We only need to apply pressure in a pop and release to get his attention. So let's talk about his commands. For example, heel, loose leash walking, walk next to me. Whenever we give the command heel, we expect him to heel when he's in that position, and then you can have him free and sniff, but we'll talk about that here in a second. So with heel, if he decides to walk too far ahead, we're going to tell him no and pop and release the leash. Let's say he gets a little excited because he sees a distraction, he wants to run ahead. No, pop, give him the command again. So you're always telling him, no, that action's not what we're asking for, pop and release the leash, and then we move on to the next one. So with the prong collar, let's also talk about the remote collar because they go hand in hand. They allow us to communicate with him. Let's say we don't have the leash in our hand or we're not quick enough with the leash, we have the remote collar. So how to turn the collar on. His collar has a little red dot right here. That is a magnetic key, and the matching magnetic key is on the remote. So we're going to touch those two together and see a green light flash. That means the collar is on, charged, ready to go. And then we have the on-off button in the back here. We're going to push and hold it until the screen lights up. Here, let me do that again so you can see it. So you actually have to push and hold the button until the screen is on, and then you're going to see that he is at level 20. Right now we're going to focus on the black S button. I will go over all the rest of the features of the remote collar at the end of the video. So we have Charlie wearing his equipment. He should wear his training equipment every day. Even if you're not going off leash, even if you're not doing a whole lot around the house, it's just a relaxed day, he should be wearing his equipment. This can be worn 10 to 12 hours a day. The prong collar you can just have on when you're going to have him on leash, but again, you might have to have the leash on in the house sometimes depending on what we're working on. So let's go back over to loose leash walking. He's in the heel, he's doing great, we're rewarding, doing awesome, and then all of a sudden he gets a little distracted and he wants to walk ahead. No, press the black S button, remind him to heel. So it's no, heel, no, heel. So we're letting him know, hey, that action's incorrect, here's the follow through, and then we tell him what to do correctly. So that is how we're going to use the remote collar for the rest of his commands. So let's go over everything else. So then we have sit. He already knew sit, but now sit means stay until he's told free. That is with all of his commands. So you don't have to go stay with whatever command you put him in. You just have to use that word. So we're talking about sit. Let's talk about door manners. So when we walk up to a door, we have him sit. We open the door. Now when we do a distraction, we can give him a verbal reminder to stay by just repeating the command sit. So sometimes an open door for dogs, it just means we get to walk through. That's what they've done in the past. So we open the door, we remind him sit, and then he has to wait until we either tell him free or we tell him heel and we walk through the door together. So the stay is implied until he is told the free command. Free means he is released from the command. So he doesn't have to be in any specific position. He is free to do whatever. So going back real quick to the loose leash walking, heel means he walks next to us. I would recommend that 80% of the time, and then having him free to sniff and explore the other 20% of the time. So then we have down stay. Down means lay down. It doesn't mean stop jumping. For jumping, you can just say no, but down means lay down and stay in that position like you've seen in videos in the past where he's actually laying down. Again, when distractions happen, good down, Charlie. We're reminding him of the down stay. If we want to get up and walk away and we want him to stay there, we remind him down and then we walk away. Because if we just get up and move, he's going to assume to follow us because dogs are body language creatures first. So we remind him down and then we walk away. Now we want to reward this command. We want to reward low, so almost to the ground, so that he gets rewarded in the lower position versus holding it above his head. Then he's going to want to pop up. So make sure we reward in the down position, nice and low. And then when we want to release him, here's the key with down and place, which we're going to talk about next. We don't release from a distance. We always go back to him, good down, good job, and then we tell him free. This is going to create a really strong stay, really strong boundary for that, because if he's used to us going, let's say 10 feet away, and we tell him free, come, and then we call him to us, that's all fine and great, but it's weakening the stay part. We want Charlie to assume you have to stay until I come get you and then tell you free and release you with that command. So then we have place. Place is a little bit more of a lenient stay. As long as all 4 feet are on the boundary, he is performing the place command. So when we reward him, we put the treat on the bed so that he knows the bed produces the reward. So this is great for when guests come over. That way he doesn't feel the need to do behaviors that we're not wanting. So dogs are pack animals. We are giving him the communication and the structure. This is what I expect of you. You do not have to leave the house and, do those behaviors you think you need to do. Just stay on place. We've got it covered is basically what we're telling him. So he can stand, sit, lay down, hang out on place. We don't call him to come to us from place. We always go back to him, good place, reward, and then we can free him from there. Now let's say he gets up from down, he gets off of place. What do? We say no, we mark that behavior, and then we follow through with the black S button, and then we repeat the command. So he gets off of place, no, place. And then you might want to practice again with the leash on the first couple times, especially around distractions, so that you can guide him back to the bed with a little pop of the leash and tell him place, so that he understands that the boundaries and rules happen at home just like they do here in the training facility. And then we have come when called. So come when called isn't where we put him in a sit, walk 20 feet away, and then call him. That's great for practice, but we want real world experience. So we're going to tell him free. He is free to sniff and explore. This gives him the freedom, but hey, when I call you, I need you to respect the command and come to me. So he's free, he's out, he's sniffing. You call him to come to you, he comes to you. Praise that behavior because we want to reward him for the action of coming to us. Once he gets to us, have him sit and reward. Now let's say he decides not to come to us. We mark that incorrect behavior with a no, follow through with the collar, and then we call him again. So, and then the key is we're going to reward when he comes to us because we want to create a reward history. That's what we're trying to do with all of the treats that we're going to give him when he goes home, is we're creating a reward history of him performing the commands for us at home. And that's just creating a positive association with doing it at home. Since he's still really new in training, a few weeks of training is still in the beginning stages, so we're still building that foundation. So we need to reinforce it at home as well. And then, of course, we reward. Then we try it again, tell him free. He goes, he sniffs, come, he comes to us, great, and then we can end the session. We always want to end sessions on a positive note. And then we have leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. So when you drop something on the floor, if he shows interest in it, you don't want him to go, sniff it or anything. You just tell him leave it. If he does, great. If not, you can follow through again with the remote and or collar. So that's how we're going to stay consistent with Charlie. Now, he did get muzzle conditioning. In the situations here, he hasn't really needed it. However, if you get in a situation where you're like, he has shown not nice behaviors before when we were doing this, let's put the muzzle on for safety, practice the obedience, go through the scenario. That way everybody is set up for success and safety. So those are his commands. Reward the behaviors you want to continue to see. Use the equipment daily to enforce the rules and follow through if he doesn't listen to our commands. So now we're going to show you Charlie's commands in action.
Heel. Good boy. You gotta keep up. Say, man, you gotta keep up. Okay. Heel. Good boy. Charlie. There you go. Charlie. What are you doing? Heel. Good job. Heel.
Down. Good. Way. Down. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Good. Good. Down. Look, you don't want a tree? You don't want a tree? Good. Down. Down. Wait. Nope. Down. Gotta wait. Free. All right, let's go over the rest of the features of Charlie's remote collar. So we know how to turn the collar on. Let's turn it off. So we tap the 2 red dots. Red light means it's off. Green light means it's on. This should last about 2 days on a charge. You should probably want to charge it every other day, as long as you turn the collar off at night. Again, he can wear this 12 to 14 hours a day. Take it off at night. The on-off button in the back, we're going to push and hold that until the screen is blank. And then we push and hold it to turn the collar back on. So we talked about the black S button. That is at level 20. That is the level that it is going to stimulate. The red S button is the boost feature. This is for emergencies. It is going to add 20 to his level, and that is to stop him in his tracks. So I'll show you the red button for emergencies only. We have not needed this for Charlie throughout his program, but you have it just in case you need it. A good example would be he gets out for some reason and he is taken off for the road and he's chasing something, his adrenaline's pumping and he's just like not listening to anything we say, and we're like, Charlie, no, come, and we're pushing level 20. That's when you have this for an emergency kind of stop button. Basically what's happening in that moment is his adrenaline's pumping and he's able to tune out the level 20, but the goal is level 40 is enough of a boost to get his attention back down, and then you can call him to come to you. Again, haven't needed it, but just in case you need it, you do have it. So then we have the M/C button on the back. You don't have to worry about that. That changes it from momentary to continuous, so I'll show you. I'm going to push and hold the black S button for a few seconds, and you see it only stimulates that quick momentary second. That's what we need right now in training. We use continuous in the beginning on a very low setting to pair the collar with treats so that he understands what the collar means. So then we have the T button over here. This is vibrate. What I like to do is before I put this on Charlie for the day, I push the vibrate button a couple times to make sure that I turned the collar on, because sometimes we forget that it's a little tap. We turn this on, but we forget to turn this on. So push the vibrate button to make sure the collar's on, ready, and good to go. Now, a few months down the line, you can use that as a warning. Like, he's doing really good, but he's making a little mistake here and there. Hey, kind of warn him, remember what you're supposed to be doing, because training is for, you know, the life of the dog, not just for a few months. And then we have the on-off button in the back. I love this feature. It is also a flashlight feature. So instead of pushing and holding it, if you just tap it, you will activate the flashlight on his collar so you can see him at night. So again, instead of pushing and holding it, tap, tap, tap. It's a really cool feature. I like that one a lot. Now, level 20 is what's working for him right now, but this level can change. So I'll show you how to adjust it. First, it's locked, so we can't adjust it up or down. We are going to unlock, and then the 1D will start flashing, and you'll see that the level can now go down or go up as needed. Level 20 is what's working for him right now, but you might have different distractions in your home. So you might need to turn it up to 25, you might need to turn it down to 15. It just depends on how he's reacting to the stimulation. It should tell him to fix his behavior, but it shouldn't be scary. So if it seems like it's too much, turn it down to 15. If you're having to push it over and over and over again, turn it up to 25 or 30, depending on what the situation calls for. And then once you have it set, push down and hold it. Now it is locked, and we won't accidentally turn the level if it's hanging around our neck or in our sweatshirt pocket or something like that. I don't recommend putting this in jean pockets because you can accidentally push the buttons, and it wouldn't make sense for Charlie to feel it if we didn't tell him what he's doing. So it is rechargeable. The charging port's back here. And it is waterproof, so you want to make sure that this little tab is closed because you don't want dirt, debris, moisture to get in the electronics. So he can wear this and go swimming. It's completely waterproof, but you want to make sure after he's done swimming, take it off, because Charlie is a pit. He does have sensitive skin, so he could develop a hot spot if moisture gets in under the collar. Also, if his skin is more sensitive, you might have to have him wear this in shifts. So like the first 6 hours of the day, it might have to be on this side. The second 6 hours of the day, it might have to be on this side. Because he does tend to have sensitive skin, at least the breed does, that's going to help set him up for success and not have like irritation marks from the collar. And then in the box here, we have his charger that's going to charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. He does not have long hair, so you do not have to worry about the extended prongs. You don't have to worry about these, or the tool that is used to change him out. And then in the box, we have his instruction manual that goes over all the buttons in greater detail, but we did cover everything. But just in case you want to know like all the functions, like the back of your hand, that is available. This does have a 2-year full warranty, so if anything happens to the model, it's not charging, it's acting goofy, call the company and they should send you a replacement and how to pair the replacement. For example, let's say the collar's working great, but the remote's acting goofy. They'll send you a new remote and show you how to pair them together. All right, so those are the features of his remote collar. So when you're working with Charlie, you want to be consistent. You want to have a lot of fun with him, of course, but you also really want to be consistent and follow through with your commands so that he understands that training happens with you at home, not just here at the facility. But like always, if you have any questions, let us know and have fun.